ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಗಾರ್ನರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ಸ್ ಎ ಲಾಟ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಣ್ಣ ಸಣ್ಣ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ಗಳು ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಡಿಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ ಈ ಸಂಜೆಗೆ. ಸೊ ಸಾರಿ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಈ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮಿಗೆ ಐ ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್ ಅವರ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಹೆಡ್ ಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ ದೇವರಾಜ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಐ ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್ ಆಲ್ ದಿ MCPs, CPs and ACPs and partners. ಸೊ ಈಗ ಸ್ಪೀಕರ್ ನ ಕರೀಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅಥವಾ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಹೂ ಇಸ್ ರೀಜನಲ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಂಡ್ MCP and a shareholder, Mr. John. So introduction of the speaker, Mr. John.
Thank you, Chairman Srisha Avare. Elrigu namaskara. Good evening, friends. Today's presenter is very special. Already our chairman has told, and I'm really happy and proud to introduce him, Mr. Vinesh Ambat Menon. He is the first ACP to get his PIN code confirmed by selling 51 UPOS. The first thing when he called up and asked is, as an ACP, what should I do? He went through the agreement and he asked me, and then when we told 51 UPOS and 180 vendors, he asked which should be done first. So that is a person who is there in front of you today as a presenter, and he is also the first assistant director to be qualified. Mattume additional shareholder 10 share illa 15 share kuda modalne phase alli qualify agiro ಒಂದು ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ, and he was under CP Prabhudev who introduced him, and then now he got promoted as a CP also. So welcome Mr. Ambat Vinesh Menon, probably because he is part of our team Lorwin as well. He comes from an academic background of BE and MBA, 37 years of experience in business and technology management, including defense, aerospace, software, health and wellness domain. Held various positions including as regional head, country manager and CMO for business and technology companies, and also the founder and managing director of an information technology company. Prospect and like whenever we talk about the most success, he holds almost 125 UPOS as a CP and about 70 UPOS as an ACP. So what I have seen in Mr. Vinesh is, there is one beautiful saying: prospect and customers buy you first, then they buy the idea that you can help them find a solution and needs, and finally they buy the product. I think nimge artha agirutte concept. First they buy as an individual. Just suiting this statement is what we found Mr. Vinesh. So here I present and introduce Ambat Vinesh Menon as a presenter today. Thank you. Over to our chairman Srisha.
Thank you Mr. John. Thank you. So ಇವತ್ತೀಗ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮೊದಲು ಒಂದು ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ನಾವು. ಸೊ ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಅನ್ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡದೇರಿ. ಕೊನೆಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಅವಕಾಶ ಕೊಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂಥರ ನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಏನೇ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಗಳು ಬಂದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ದಟ್ ಲೇಟರ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಇನ್ ಅವರ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್. Over to you, Mr. Ambat Vinesh.
Thank you. Very warm good evening to all of you. Kannadil maatadaga ashta agalla. So let me take an apology in advance. I'm not very fluent in speaking in Kannada. Of course, a little bit here and there I can manage. So apologies for that. I think you will not have an objection to it. We are getting into a very serious discussion. So language is not a barrier here. The subject makes a lot of sense. Thank you for giving this opportunity to talk to all of you. That's one thing which I would like to appreciate. A special thanks to Mr. Deva for taking the entire team on a high spirit and making this happen. I mean, a lot of vibes and energy. So thanks to you and Mr. John Mario, the MCP, and the person who introduced me to Global Ghana. I can never forget him because he's one of the one who's the very reason for me to be in Global Ghana. Mr. Prabhudev, is he there in the meeting today? I don't know. If he's not there, still record it, and it's my deep appreciation and love and gratitude for him to pick the phone and just introduce Global Ghana to me. Had it been not for that day, probably I would have never come to know about Global Ghana. It has been a journey, I think, for last, we started 2020, I think, August. John would know the
Yeah,
exact date. I
August.
think
Yeah.
it's in June, okay. Of course, when we started, I think most of you know that, Global Garden is not, that popularly known as a commercial brand as of today even. So those days it was still not that, we were very babies, we were just limping and we were just trying to see. And that was the time it was very difficult for people to get convinced on the idea, very difficult for people to buy, invest, all those things. So we have circumvented all these problems with sheer certain key points, which actually helped me. And I think that's what I'm going to share with you. I think that's what most of you are going to be benefited, if at all. Okay. Okay. So here, what can I share some slides for my people? Is that I'm allowed to do that?
You're a co-host. Vinesh, you are a co-host. You can do
I'm a
that.
co-host, so I can actually pull out. I just put, why I depend on certain visuals and slides. What happens is when we just talk to people, you are learning is mostly we learn with. I think most of you are aware about your kinesthetic, auditory, visual, all the stuff. Now here, most of the people, I mean, if you predominantly look at their visual, in fact, by what they see is what they can remember. So I always depend, always rely, always believe that if I show you some slides and other things, probably that will remain in your mind. The idea here is to not to just give a talk to you, but you should carry value and you should actually try to implement and actually help you. That's the point. Otherwise, like a politician, probably I can be a politician standing here and talk to you, but whether you carry value or not, it's of no consequences to me. But here, my purpose or idea is for all of you to really carry some value when we leave this room after this meeting, probably another 30, 40 minutes. So I'll share some slides. I mean, the slides are just pointers. They're not something which is going to be of great thing. They're just pointers for you to keep in your mind. So here we go. With your permission, I'm sharing. So here we go. Okay, now this is the one. I think I've just taken it out. Not this. Are you able to see the slide
Yes,
from
yes,
there?
yes.
Okay, so here what I wanted to tell all of you is the opportunity given by Global Ghana is same for all. Do you agree on this point? I can just get a thumbs up. It's going to be a little bit of interaction as well. Do you agree on this opportunity given is same for all? Yes or no? Right. But some are probably a little successful better than others, or probably would have actually gained more mileage out of this entire program, and some would have not, or probably still living. What can be the reason for that? That's what I always try to analyze it. Although the opportunity, the UPOS is same, the commissions are same, the vendors are same, the structure is same, everything remains same for me, you, and all of us, even including them. Or Mr. Vikas Rawat, for him also, if he has to use the UPOS, it's the same thing UPOS. It doesn't have a special UPOS. But somehow, as a little better and successful, or when I say successful, probably it's a relative term, better than some of you otherwise. For me, the reason here is more of there are two dimensions to it. Anything, if you look at it, there are two dimensions. One is something called a subjective dimension, and another is called an objective dimension. Simple term, something is more related to you, something is more related to the product or the service or whatever the case may be. It is like you give a mobile phone to an adult who uses mobile phone properly, you give him. For him, this gadget gives a lot of other values. You give this mobile phone to a child, what he will do with this? For him, he's going to play it around. For him, the utility is something else. Now, how many of you probably play musical instruments? I think some of you at least play, right? So guitar or harmoniums or tablas or something like that. Now, the same musical instrument is being played by or orchestrated by Rahman. Is he paid better than the others? Yes or no? You agree on that? Okay. You might have seen there are many lawyers. Probably some of the lawyers are here. There are many lawyers who actually get paid for every hour 50 lakhs. If you want to appear in the court, 50 lakhs, 1 crore, they put a tag. And there are also lawyers who actually sit outside this mayor hall and type only the rental agreements. Yes or no? Now, there are barbers, hair salon, the hairstylists, who charge probably a lakh or 50,000 rupees for one sitting. And there are guys who charges only 35 rupees for one cut. He uses the same knife, same comb, same mirror, everything is same. So how does this happen? For me, the answer is simple. It is all the kind of value you create around you. It is absolutely no doubt on this point. It's the value what you create. Now, how do you create value? Can you just go to KR market and put some value on you and you go there? You can't do that, right? This is not something which you can just buy, off the shelf or go to a shop and get some value. You can't do that. There is a kind of transformation within you which has to happen. Now, all that when I say, what is the transformation is primarily to look at, how do you increase your personal value? Your income is directly proportional to your personal value. Please remember this. Please remember, your income is directly proportional to the value what you have and what you contribute. There's a simple, I can put it in other terms. Your salary or your income is directly proportional to the problem you're solving. Bigger the problem you solve, bigger your remuneration. Smaller the problem you solve, smaller remuneration. Why the CEO of a company is paid the highest? Have you ever thought? Many people say, no, why can't I be a CEO? Hey, I do the same work. I go at 8 o'clock in the morning in the office. I pack up at 6 o'clock in the night. I also just take 30 minutes break. I do all my dedicated work there. But the CEO get paid almost 300 times better than me, and I get paid only peanuts. You might have heard people talking. That's the same thing here also. Hey, the same UPOS, same commission, same state head, same ACP, same ACP. Hey, I'm not able to sell that. This guy is able to sell. Why not? So here, the point is that, it's all revolves around your personal value. And can you just get this personal value bought from the market? No. This is something which you have to put in effort to increase consistently, which involves right from the way you wear your shirt, right from the way you put on your shirt, your personal hygiene, the way you present. I can also sit in this meeting with probably, a lousy dress, Zoom में है ना कौन देखता है एक t-shirt पहन के round neck का पहन के ऐसे बैठा है. You might have seen when you do program, many people come there who actually lie down on the bed on a banyan and listen to 6,680 crore business companies business presentation. He's listening. He's serious, and he's actually in his small, maybe chaddis, I would say, and he's just lying on the bed. I've actually made a decision in my program, and I say, if I see anyone not in proper attire, removed from the, with an apology, say you are removed. That's as simple as. How many of you do that? How many of you really put a strict condition when you conduct even a Zoom meeting? Today, if you look at this meeting hall, you will see many of you are still in a casual, very casually sitting. Now, why does Risha today come with he's sitting in a very professional way, right? Why John sits in a professional way? Why many? Deva comes in a professional manner. Is that not applicable to all of us? So it's the way you handle your image. You are projecting an image. John just gave an example. Probably Vinesh did this, that did. Nothing came just to me from, some sky, somebody came and gave me an UPOS order. You take all this. It didn't happen. I put in my efforts to do. get those things. But when I put in effort, I realized if I don't do, because I'm representing a brand, I'm representing an organization with, I would always say, I think you can quote me again and again, probably I'm the first person who uses word. If there is a Nobel Prize to be given for the business models, the first Nobel Prize would go to Vikas Rawat and Global Garden. I think I made the statement last year, in the month of September, October, I believe, when I was announced to, with this kind of, some kind of achievement, when I was called on to speak. I said this. So this is what the history, in fact, I know that, because that's how. So when you go and represent such a great thing, you are carrying diamond, you are carrying a diamond mind, not just diamond. And if you don't represent, you are not going to have success in your life. Very sure. By chance, we can get it. There's something called chance. Your chacha, chachi's brother-in-law, sister-in-law can buy you person. But if that's your business, then you are not in business. So the first thing is increase your personal value. Now, I am not going to take this session, how do you increase it? Because that's not something which is the topic. For that, the professional who gives you training, we can also cover some of the topics during a QA session. So the first thing is increase your personal value. That's my first take on increasing your business and the presence. Got it? I think you agree with me on this. Yes or no? Let me just get some thumbs up on this if you feel yes. Thank you for this acknowledgement. Now, for me, I'm primarily a guy with, I go with facts. There are two things. I'll always say, I believe in God. I believe in God. I trust in data. I think you heard it as well. I believe in God, I trust in data. So here I go with data. When I get a project, when anything is in front of me, I try to do a simple analysis. Probably I'm competent to do that, or I may actually hire the competency from someone. I'll take opinion from a third party, because it is not that I know everything under the sun. There are areas, there are gray areas where I have no clue about it. So I'll always go and talk to an expert who will probably can give some inputs from his experience. It is like if I wanted to climb Everest, whom will I go? Will I go to a barber shop and ask opinion, or I'll go to a guy who's running a mountaineering college? I'll go to a mountaineering college expert, right, to give an opinion about it. So you should always seek opinion or inputs from people who are capable of giving you that, who's competent enough to give you that. Talk to them. Many people fail. Most of them take opinion from the local guys. Hey, Global Gardener, is it something good? I'm not certain what it is. 54,000 you post. Immediately what most of them go and tell, 54,000 rupees investment, Global Gardener. Hey, what is this? We have seen many companies like this coming and going. Straight away, this guy is snubs. Got it down. He says, oh, I talked to many people. Nobody is interested. Nobody has money. They never heard about it. They will have 101 reasons why he is not taking. But he will not have one convincing reason why he has to take it. The more that this actually can reinforce with the data what you have. Look at the macroeconomics. I wanted to give you, all of you, this data. I think some of you have it. If you don't have, note it down. See, this data speaks. India as an economy today, we are hovering around less than 3 trillion, 2.7 or 2.8 trillion is the economy. US, grown up, a developed economy, is almost 16 to 18 trillion. That's the size of the economy. Now, where is 2 trillion or a 3 trillion and an 18 trillion economy? You just look at the size, right? It's almost 6 times there. Now, look at the manpower. Look at the people. Look at the things inside. India produces close to 14 or 16 lakh engineers every year. India produces 16 lakhs engineers every year. Today, if you walk, you will see everyone has a B.Tech or BE, or behind the name. US, on the contrary, where this is 18 or 16 trillion economy, has less than 1 lakh engineers getting produced. Now look at this fact. Why I'm giving this data is look at the fact, how many people in India are actually desperately looking for an opportunity then? Simple BTech graduates itself, there are 15 lakh people every year is just in front of you. 15 lakh BTech graduates. And I've seen the salaries of BTech graduates. Might have seen it, I think. I happened to read a newspaper. In the newspaper, there was a report. Parota makers wanted. I think you know that parota makers, right? The parota makers. So the parota maker wanted salary 20,000 rupees. Good, with accommodation. And the next column, there was yet another advertisement. Software engineers wanted salary 6,000 rupees. So nice, right? So nice to look at those advertisements, right? Now look at it. Does it really mean something great? Do you identify a problem there? This is what you need to be able to do. Because you can identify a problem when you know the terrain. When you know that, then you know the problem. That's the problem. If somebody wants to say that I wanted to go and land in moon, you know you need to understand how does the moon look like? What is moon all about? Is the terrain so soft and smooth for you to go and land? So this data gives you. So what is lying ahead of you? This takes you to conviction. This takes you to conviction. Please remember, this is connecting. Yes, there are people who needs it. There's a great market available there. So yes, my product, my concept will sell. So that's the first point. Now I'm giving some more data here. Just look at it. Working population of India. Where are we heading? That's what I'm trying to look at you. It is going to exceed 1 billion by 2050, another 20 years. 20 years is not a big time. Actually, we are actually building something for the future. Today, 65% of India's population is under 35 years of age. When I say 35 years of age, or 50% of population is under 25 years of age, what does it indicate to us? It means the people are tech savvy. Can you tell me one guy today in a metropolitan or a tier 2 or tier 3 or tier 4 cities without a smartphone? 780 million people use smartphones in India. Do you know? So what's the kind of market? So most of the people today, many people make the mistake of going and talking to uncle. Uncle is around 80-year-old. Uncle ek UPO saguli. 54,000 rupees. Uncle doesn't know. Uncle probably out of love. Oh, yes, come no. And the UPOS is lying in his pocket. He doesn't know what is UPOS all about. You have given a product to someone who doesn't know about it, who had just bought it for the sake of, respecting you. That's all, or maybe love and affection. But what you have done a big mistake that you don't realize. For the just sake of getting a sale, you have done it. You got given to the wrong person. It is like, I'm a doctor, and I know how to diagnose the cases. Just for the sake of getting an MRI done, I'm asking a healthy person go and get an MRI done. Does it make any sense? Many people do this. So here, there's another pointer for you. We are having 50% of the population, means close to 60 crore people in India who are just very young, dynamic, energetic. Out of 60 crore, if you take 1% who can actually buy our product, our UPOS to be utilized. Look at the market, what you are heading. What is actually the table? Most people do not see this. Now, look at the economy even otherwise. What contributes to the economy? How does we get? Look at the facts like manufacturing, agriculture, service sector. They're the main drivers of the economy if you look at it. Agriculture, manufacturing, and the service sector. Now today, if you look at the manufacturing contributes to less than 20% of India's GDP. Service sector, just 7%. I mean, that's primarily the IT sector, what I'm trying to look at it. There are some other sectors which will actually contribute slightly more to the percentage. It is actually less than 5%. It's almost saturating there. So you take 17%, you take another 5%, you take another 20% or 30% from the industry like, agriculture. We don't have an organized farming. That's one of the biggest problems what we even see. We have yet to get into modern farming, organized farming. There are a lot of plus and minus with genetic engineered systems and modified causes problems to us. Now, if you look at this, We have a huge market available where people wanted to get something, opportunities. Government cannot create jobs. Do you think government can create jobs for people? Everyone passing out, government will give you a job. Today you take a jhanda and go and say, give me job, give me job. I'll ask many people here, if I ask, I mean, generally I used to ask people, what's the first? I wanted this to be put in the chat box. I wanted people to put in. Can I request to John and Srisha to just look at the chat box and just get me the answers of people? Okay, I will not be looking at the chat box. You can just get me and look at the number. What is the first requirement to get a job? Can anyone just put in a chat? What's the first quality, first requirement to get a job? Let's look at the chat box. Is any chats coming in? My question is again, what is the first requirement to get a job?
Qualification, education, skills,
age and qualification, skill, knowledge, mindset to work under, opportunity.
My God, so nice. Okay, now,
yeah,
if you look at the chat box, which I'm not doing, I think some of you are doing it, you will see invariably most people would have actually put in qualifications, attitude, capabilities, skill, age, blah, blah, blah. But do you know, friends, what is the first requirement to get a job? There should be an opening. There should be a position open for you to get a job. There should be an opportunity existing in this field to get a job. That's the first requirement. You agree on this, yes or no? You people, those who agree, just put an yes. There has to be an opportunity to get a job. There should be a position. There should be a vacancy available. Now, you tell me who creates this. It's an entrepreneur. It's an entrepreneur who creates it. And what are you on? Are you an employee? Or you still come with an employee attitude? Mindset is an employee of, you tell me I'll do this. Tell me that I'll do it. Tell me that I'll do it. Out of that, no, nothing more. And I'm good at giving you, sir, bus late. Bad shot. I can give you 101 reasons for not doing it, but I cannot make one reason for being there. And if that's attitude, we are not supposed to be doing it. We are supposed to be still looking for some salary jobs. If at all. I mean, you can salary job, you can continue to be in a salary job. It doesn't mean that it's something bad. But you have to have a shift in your mind attitude, an entrepreneurial attitude. It's only then you will be successful. No one has ever built an organization just being an employee. Please note this word. No one being an employee. He would have built an organization just by being an entrepreneur, not by an employee. He would have worked as an employee for the organization. He puts on different hats. We put on different hats, right? If I run an organization, I may actually go and stand at the cash counter like a cashier at work. I may go and pack items like a delivery boy at work. I'll do accounts like an account guy, I will do it. I may run it, orchestrate it, because then again, what happens? So here, that's the position. So most of the people do not think like a business owner. They don't come from that background. For them, somebody told something, ek UPOS le lo, 5,000 rupees, one UPOS you sell it, you get 5,000 rupees. Global Garner Times of India, there are 2-3 words they use. Global Garner Times of India, now 6,680 crore company, 5,000 rupees. Beyond that, no, everything is sure. Then something will come up like a UPV, 1 crore, all those things. But you really don't connect dots. You don't really connect things and put in perspective with someone who wants it, to whom you can talk. Now here, we are working on the spent economy. All of you know that. What is the spent economy contributing? What is the spent economy's contribution to India's total economic value, the volume? You know that, right? Global Ghana today gives you everything. Everything you tell me is anything which is left out. Probably contrabands are not sold in Global Ghana. We are not giving the dotted services in the Global Ghana. We are not working on nicotines and tobacco or alcohol, which are actually good in spirit, right? But other than this, what you don't get in global Ghana. I always salute Vikas for having brought out a concept like this, which is irresistible for a common man to say no. I just can't understand if anybody says no to global Ghana, then either that guy is totally an unlucky. He has not been gifted by God. I mean, God has never given him anything. That's what I just feel. That's my very arrogant approach towards it. Bhagavan ne isko aise buddhu banaya. That's my concept with it. Or he's totally an unlucky person. Either he doesn't have anything to understand or he's an unlucky. I also got people not interested. When I say not interested, I used to laugh. My God. It's like I'm giving him 1 kg of gold in his hand. Please take it. Hey, not interested. Then how does it look like for me? Don't I have to laugh? That's all. Look at this market. This is the kind of size what you have in your hand. Every individual. Can we live on this planet without consuming? So it is obvious that consumption will happen. 100%. 100% consumption will happen. So if there's a consumption, we can get money. As simple as that. Because as he said, it's a dam. Rivers will flow, continue to flow. You're just building a dam. Today you're building, you are just at the bottom. You can't see the water. You can't see the water getting stagnated, right? There's no what is called a captive water right now. We are building first brick, second brick, third. We have just put only how many bricks now? Probably less than 10 bricks. 10,000 bricks. There are 9 lakhs bricks to go. By the time when we do, our dam will be actually harnessing some of the greatest things on this planet. Because no one can refuse. Please get this into your mind. Then you will see the difference. Now, I wanted to show you some of it. I think, what is the time limit for me to speak? Another 10 minutes? Am I having? Yes or no?
Yes, another 15 minutes. Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you for 10 minutes. Okay. Now, I know people, those who are feeling it bored will get dropped off, no problem. But others can stay on. I wanted to show you, many people are aware about Zomato, right? I don't know if you heard about the story again. I'm just, Zomato, right? People, as if without Zomato, people won't leave. People never used to eat food without Zomato. That's how actually that's got into DNA, right? Now the Zomato is in the DNA. No, that's what. Zomato has never made profit. Do you know last year, for 2019 to 20, Zomato's loss actually doubled, 160%. How many of you know the Zomato is a loss-making company? But just by sheer branding, they are today in the market. 5.65 billion is the valuation of Zomato. 5.65 billion. Almost 5 times the valuation of global Ghana right now. And when did Zomato start? How many of you know when did Zomato start? 2008. 2008, Zomato started. It's almost like the same time of the Geo. And today, Zomato, still a loss-making company with a valuation of 5.6. Now, will global Ghana make loss anytime? Structurally, the way the system is designed, global Ghana can never make loss. Global Ghana can never make loss because the infrastructure what is built, the IPR what is built for it can never be depreciated. You don't have to really pump it. Probably you have a little maintenance, upgrading to the versions of OS what you're doing, or better computing, those things, but still not. If you look at a large scale, global Ghana can never make loss. Now a company which can never make loss, what will be the valuation of the company in another 5 years? Look at this. Don't you get your adrenaline pumped up by this? By looking at these facts? Yes. Now, Zomato's revenue nearly doubles. Loss widens 160%. I'm still going for IPO. IPO going. And people are running behind it to get this graph. And when we go IPO, what will be our shape and size? Someone who can visualize this. Most of us actually start wearing blinders. Open it up. You will see what are we really, what the world is all about. The terrain is a blue ocean strategy for you. Everything is available. You just go and take it. Now, when you go fishing in sea Will you do fishing just by putting one, or you just go on and grab the entire mass? You have that here. You don't have to really do the hooking, one by one hooking, or the Fevicol mein chipkao karke. You don't have to do that. Look at these numbers. Now, before I end, I wanted to give you 3 things which I personally used as a strategy for me to really get anywhere, whatever the success activities, whatever the activities, whatever. I have 3 C's in my activities, 3 C's. The first C is conviction. Whatever I do, I will do after conviction. Because when I am convinced, I'm deep into it. No doubt. No doubt, I'm deep into it. Second, so I want you ask yourself, you put this question to all of you, put it. Are you convinced about Global Ghana and its business model and the future? Are you convinced? It has to come deep inside. Don't talk peripherally. Many people do this peripherally. But their inside is very shallow. Nothing. Hollow. There's nothing, no substance inside. Bahar se sab bolega. Get deep inside the conviction. That again gets actually into DNA. Once this is done, you should be committed to that. You should be committed. Yes, I will make it happen. Put this decision inside. I will make it happen. Not, I've seen often people talking. Let me try. Dekhte hai. Is there anything called try? Actually, we are not sitting in a hotel room. I would have actually demonstrated the try. So there's nothing called try. I always like the caption or the logo caption of Nike. Just do it. The best thing what I like, just do it. Don't talk, just do it. Now, third, just doing and conviction cannot be once in a while. Once in a month, I will do it. Once in a year, I will do it. During my birthday, I will do it. You want to say? Be consistent. There is something called law of wasted efforts. I don't know how many of you know. 75% of your efforts will be lost. A lion hunting, 75% of the time he loses his prey. You know this? 75% of the eggs hatched or laid by animals, the predators eat or probably get destroyed. It's only 25% survive. 75% of all that activity, what you do, probably will not bring in any results. That's a 25% what you get it. And you please be aware about it. Most of us people get disheartened. We will reject it by just getting 1 no, 2 no, 3 no. For me, I would say 137 crore, 91 lakh people in India can say no to me. But that 9 lakh people are still there for me to talk yes. I'll do it. For me, that's a conviction. That's a consistency. 1 lakh, India's population is 138 crore, just remember. Out of 138 crore, I will encounter 137 crore, 91 lakh, no problem. I'm still there with the 9 lakh people to talk. And out of that 9 lakh, I'll probably take 1 lakh. That's what I just go with. Do this. You will see the difference. While I gave you a very theoretical framework behind, all that is practical, theoretical framework, I wish all of you follow the simple steps. Do marketing of Global Ghana properly. Well, just do it properly. Create your collaterals. Create your marketing materials. How many of you really do presentations today? ACPs, I see most of ACPs and MCPs, and still you rely on someone else to do the programs for you? Ridiculous. As an ACP, you ask John how many presentations I asked them to do, probably just for the 2 sessions to introduce. Thereafter, I took over. I knew that I can do it. It doesn't matter that I have 100 people participating in my event. 5 people, good enough. 10, 20. Invariably today, every week, we address 300, 400 people. In a week, I'm just taking an average. 300 to 400 people In a week, we address. Out of 400 people, I take a strike rate of only 10%. Because 90% I can put it in a wasted effort. That 10% will give me my masses. Good enough. Adopt the strategy. Second, when you do this, how do you market? After you marketing, you are talking to people interacting. So there are classes for this. We will take classes for this separately. Then invite people to the program. When you invite people, put your heart to it. When you conduct a birthday party at your home, will you call your friend and tell, hey, Bandre, will you use that? Or you'll tell, please come. I've hosted a party. I'm doing a special event today, and I want you to be my special guest. Please come. Will you do this? You will do it from your heart? Say, Karo. Aega. Third thing, do the presentation. Put the opportunity in front of them in a professional manner and with passion. Passion drives. Today I'm speaking to you not from, I have two languages. I said, no, my language is my brain. As an engineer, I was trained to use my brain for more. But today I also the quadratic equation how to solve, in fact. But I used it. But today I speak to you from here. So do this with passion. After that, do a genuine follow-up with the person. All these topics are specialized topics. You would probably need training. And how do we do it? All this cannot be covered right now. Probably another 5 minutes. I cannot give an MBBS degree in 5 minutes class, right? You know that, right? It takes time. And after that, please help them, train and support them. Many people, probably I also did this mistake. After onboarding them, I left them under the assumption that they will actually grow themselves. Please give them the necessary. And I would respect here in this case, John. John takes so much of effort in actually consistently. I used to ask him, hey, what are you, John, doing? Are you spoon feeding from? I complained. In fact, I said, what are you doing, a spoon feeding? But this gentleman comes at 6 o'clock. I see around 3 messages from him. This schedule, the next. I said, hey, are you? I mean, he said he looked like purchased Zoom and he's actually sleeping in Zoom and everything is Zoom for him. That's the kind of commitment. But of course, I want to say this. It is not something which I wanted to do practically. I wanted you to enable people, make them happen. If you don't create leaders, if you don't make them to hunt for themselves, they will become a burden on you all the time. If a train has to move, all the bogies, the wheel should be loose, right? So then only you can. If some of the wheels are actually jammed, can the train propel at the speed at which the locomotive can pull it at the speed at which it's supposed to be? Or while an aircraft is taking off, one of the engines shuts down. How does it look like? So please ensure that the engines are powering. Because who are the engine? The people who are with you. So these are some of the simple steps you should adopt. When I said my topic, John asked me what's the topic. Either I'm clueless about the topic because the topic is going to cover a little, exhaustive. But these are the steps what you should look at. Now, and last point. You are the CEO of your company. Remember this. If you don't have this in your mind, whatever I say is of no use to you. You will close this Zoom and you'll go back to your regular mode. Wake up, get into your blood, DNA, that you are the CEO of your own business, your life, your career, everything. And Global God has given you a platform to do that. Thank you so much for the time allocated to me for doing. I've exceeded slightly, but I think it's of value to people. Stopping it, I will open for some discussions at all.